To the outside world, Ava's life was a fairy tale. Married to Leo Moretti, the heir to a luxury shipping empire, she lived in a villa overlooking Lake Como. But inside the gold-plated walls of the Moretti estate, Ava was treated like a cheap ornament. Leo's mother, the formidable Isabella Moretti, never let Ava forget her commoner roots. Ava was a former art restorer, a woman who worked with her hands, which in Isabella's eyes made her little more than the help. "You should be grateful, Ava," Isabella would say, her voice like broken glass. "Without the Moretti name, you'd still be scrubbing mold off old canvases in a basement." Leo, once charming, had turned cold. He spent his nights in Milan, supposedly on business, while Ava sat alone in a dining room built for 20. The betrayal finally broke the surface on their 3rd anniversary. Ava had prepared a quiet dinner, hoping to mend the distance. Leo walked in, but he wasn't alone. Behind him was a young socialite, the daughter of a rival textile mogul. They weren't just colleagues. The way Leo held her waist told the whole story. "What is this, Leo?" Ava asked, her voice trembling. "It's over, Ava," Leo said, not even looking her in the eye. "My mother was right. You don't fit in this world. You're small. You're boring. We need a merger, and I need a wife who brings more than just a pretty face to the table." Isabella stepped out from the shadows, a legal folder in her hand. "You'll find your things in trash bags at the gate. You've already signed the prenuptial agreement. You leave with nothing but the clothes you're wearing. Don't bother calling a lawyer. We own the firm that wrote it." Security didn't even give Ava time to put on a coat. They escorted her to the iron gates in the middle of a thunderstorm. As the gates clicked shut, Leo's new merger laughed from the balcony. Ava stood in the mud, drenched and humiliated. They thought they had taken everything. They forgot that Ava's job wasn't just restoring art. It was uncovering secrets hidden under layers of paint. For 2 years, Ava vanished. The Morettis assumed she had crawled back to her basement. In reality, Ava had gone to Zurich. Before her marriage, Ava had been restoring a portrait for an elderly, reclusive billionaire named Silas Thorne. During the restoration, she had discovered a hidden compartment in the frame containing the original lost deeds to a massive tract of land in downtown Singapore. Land that the Moretti family had been illegally using for their port operations for decades. At the time, out of love for Leo, she had kept the secret. Now, that secret was her nuclear option. Ava didn't sell the deeds. She used Silas Thorne's connections, who had become a father figure to her, to build a shell company called the Restoration Group. While Leo was busy losing money on bad investments and his new wife's gambling debts, Ava was quietly buying up the Moretti family's debt. She moved like a ghost through the financial markets. She didn't want a settlement. She wanted the foundation. She watched as the Moretti empire began to crack. Isabella's arrogance had blinded them to the fact that their primary shipping port was sitting on land they didn't legally own, and the unknown owner of that land had just sent a notice of immediate eviction. The Morettis were facing total ruin. Their ships had nowhere to dock, their stock was plummeting, and their creditors were circling like sharks. They needed a miracle. They needed an investor. And that's when the Restoration Group offered them a meeting. The boardroom of the Moretti headquarters was filled with tension. Leo sat at the table, looking 10 years older, his hands shaking. Isabella sat beside him, her face a mask of desperation. "Where is this CEO?" Isabella snapped. "We've been waiting 20 minutes. Don't they know who we are?" "They know exactly who you are, Isabella," a voice rang out. The doors swung open. Ava walked in. She wasn't the shy girl in the floral dress they had thrown out. She was wearing a blood-red Valentino suit, her hair in a sharp platinum bob. Behind her walked 4 of the most expensive lawyers in Europe. Leo gasped, dropping his pen. "Ava? What are you doing here? Are you a secretary now?" Ava sat at the head of the table, Leo's chair. She didn't look at him. She looked at the documents in front of her. I am the CEO of the Restoration Group, Ava said, her voice calm and terrifyingly steady. And I am here to discuss your eviction. It seems your family has been trespassing on my land for 30 years. The back rent alone exceeds the total value of this company. Isabella stood up, her face turning a sickly purple. This is a joke. You? You were a nobody. You had nothing. I had the truth, Isabella, Ava said, sliding a folder across the table. While you were busy measuring my worth by my shoes, I was measuring yours by your crimes. Here is the forensic audit of your shipping manifests. Insurance fraud, tax evasion, and illegal docking. It's all here. Leo reached for her hand, his voice turning into a pathetic whine. Ava, baby, listen, I made a mistake. That girl, she's gone. We can start over. You can move back into the villa tomorrow. Ava pulled her hand away as if she had touched something rotten. I already bought the villa, Leo. I bought it at an auction this morning. I'm turning it into a gallery for artists who actually have talent. You and your mother have 1 hour to pack your bags. And this time, I will be the one watching from the balcony. Isabella tried to speak, but her voice failed her. The power had shifted so completely that the air in the room felt different. You took my pride that night in the rain, Ava said, standing up. So I took your name, your home, and your future. The Moretti name ends today. From now on, this company will be known as Thorn Restoration. She turned to her lead lawyer. Ensure the eviction is handled by the same security firm they used on me 2 years ago. I want them to recognize the faces. As Ava walked out of the building, the sun was shining over Milan.